Want your kids off their phones? Well, they just told us how to do it. In a new Harris poll conducted with The Atlantic, kids have reminded us about the importance of unstructured, unsupervised play for the development not just of their actual intelligence, but of so many related developmental factors: critical thinking, problem solving, self-efficacy, social maturity, and, well, really, you name it. According to the article, What Kids Told Us About How to Get Them Off Their Phones by David Graham and Tom Nichols, the Harris poll surveyed 500 kids between 8 and 12 years old, most of whom have phones and not only are on social media, but also interact unsupervised with adult strangers through social media or games. Despite that, most of the kids surveyed aren't allowed out in public without adult supervision, even though, as the article states, according to Warwick Carnes, the author of How to Live Dangerously, kidnapping in the United States is so rare that a child would have to be outside, unsupervised, for an average of 750,000 years before being snatched by a stranger, statistically speaking. But modern parents, concerned about the dangers in the real world, relegate their kids to online interactions, in part under the guise of their safety. But as the authors put it, because so many parents restrict their ability to socialize in the real world, kids resort to one thing that allows them to hang out with no adults hovering: their phones. If there are operative words in that quote, they are the words, "no adults hovering." What kids report is that more than anything else, they want play that does not involve adult supervision. Of course they do. Why? Because based on overwhelming amounts of research, our brains evolved with free play as a primary means of cognitive and social development. And that's not just true of humans, by the way. Studies on animals reinforce the importance of play. For example, kittens who were not permitted free play also never developed the social skills they needed to interact with other cats as adults. So it should not be surprising that human children are meant to play with each other in mixed groups without immediate supervision, figuring out how to get along, how to create games, how to test their own ideas, and so on. If you want a sense of just how important and powerful free play is, then consider just one of the many recent studies advocating for the benefits of unstructured play in public schools by Heather McPherson Parrott and Lynn E. Cohen. The study examined the impact of increased free play time for kids in school, which found improvements in the following areas: desire and ability to learn and focus, their mood, social interaction, cooperation, problem solving, independence, and self-advocacy. All said, whereas the evidence about the harms of smartphones on child development is mounting fast, unsupervised free play helps young brains develop in just about all of the ways that they need to develop. So, though it might take just a little coordination with other parents, give your kids what they want, even if they don't specifically know that they want it. Free play with other kids that's not generally under your specific watchful eye. Take their phones away, then drop them at a park, a backyard, a basement, etc., and tell them to have fun. And if they complain that they are bored, then tell them to figure out what to do, because that's exactly what their brains need to learn anyway. What I mean by that is that it is healthy for their brains to work through being bored, figuring out how to resolve social conflicts, and invent what to do next, including, and most especially, adapt to changing circumstances. All of that happens through free, unsupervised play. So sometimes the key to excellent parenting isn't parenting more, but parenting less. As Max Beckhoff wrote, play is training for the unexpected.